Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Let's Talk About It. I am Taka Minaj and today we are here with...
Devin, aka Thin Mints.
Yes, my drag child. I'm really excited. We're going to do some fun little Beetlejuice inspired looks. They messaged me last night and they were like, let's do some Beetlejuice. And I was like, hell yes. So we're going to dive right in. We're going to be doing two different looks. Inspired by our own makeup styles, and we're gonna just have a good time. So let's get started. So speaking of Beetlejuice, the new movie came out at the beginning of this month, which I did see, and I would like to know your thoughts, but I will give you mine first, just so you can collect your thoughts.
Yep.
I like the second movie better than the first movie, because I feel like the first movie, in my opinion, was just like way too out there. It didn't really have like a rhyme or reason, and I felt like the second movie I liked a little bit better, but there were some parts that I did not like about the second movie, specifically with like them making Winona Ryder's character Lydia Deetz be like really like powerless and unsure of herself. I didn't really like that because in the first movie she was like so sure of herself, and then all of a sudden this movie it's just like she doesn't really know like what, like she doesn't, I don't know, she doesn't feel confident, and I didn't like that. But that's really like the only things that I felt about the movie. I liked everything else. I felt like the plot was decent, and I liked the characters. I really appreciated them starting the movie out with Tragedy by the Bee Gees. That was one of my favorite songs growing up. But I thought it was a really cute movie. I loved the Soul Sucker lady. I think she's hot, and I feel like a lot of drag queens are going to be dressing up like her for Halloween this year. But just my opinion. What about you?
Okay, so I personally loved the original. I loved how wacky it was, and I did not really enjoy the second one because I felt that it took too long to get to first of all, it was very plot heavy. It was so plot point heavy, and it took a long time to bring the plot points together to get to where you could make sense of why they were showing you what they were showing you.
I see that.
And that made it a little bit harder for me to focus. And I also, I liked the casting, but I felt like there were a lot of characters that I just didn't connect with. And I could have. Like, had they, it just wasn't cohesive. It was really hard for me to find something that like I could latch onto to pull me through the plot points of the movie to make it make sense and bring it all together and make it more cohesive. And that's like personally where I struggled, was like there was a lot of bouncing around of the plot points, and when it did start to come together and become entertaining, at that point I was already like bored and kind of annoyed because it's Tim Burton. He's like insanely skilled and talented, and he brings entertainment right out the gate. I was not entertained right out the gate. In fact, I wasn't entertained for probably 40 minutes. And then it started getting okay. But yeah, so I just feel like it could have been done better. I liked the inclusion of the older characters. I liked Michael Keaton as Beetlejuice. I think he's a classic, and to recast that character would be a sin, so I agree with that choice. I agree with having Winona Ryder in it because she brings the quirky, weird energy that the first one brought that I loved so much. But I feel like some of the casting of the like underworld characters could have been done a little bit better. And I feel like they could have either done more or less with the Soul Sucker.
I feel you.
Either more.
I see what you mean.
Like, giving her more oomph and more, like, plot point and more focus. Or just wash the character. Because it just... That was one thing that just added a little bit too much for me. I understood the, like, dynamic of why they went that way to try to pull you through. I just didn't like it. But I did appreciate that they made Mr. Deets, they made him lose his head or whatever. They made him get eaten on like a boat tour or something. Sorry, I'm spoiling it. But they didn't work with him again because he had sexual assault allegations or charges or something like that. And so I'm happy that they didn't try and like recast him or bring that character in and give that actor like any more attention or interest or whatever, or money. But I think that they made a good choice in that, you know, because like it's kind of, if you're if you're bringing back a bunch of the original actors and you're trying to do that with tact, you know, do you bring back even people who are problematic? And I like that their answer was no. So I feel good about that. And I'm not 1,000,000% sold on Jenna Ortega, but I don't necessarily know that I can directly think of somebody who would have been better in that role right off the top of my head. You know what I mean? I see why she was cast. She's a little more quiet and like angry awkward and not like quirky awkward.
Like a teenage angst?
Yeah, she has a little bit more of that than like the quirkiness that I really loved the original movie for. So, yeah, that's my opinion.
Nice.
So if you were to rate it 1 to 10, what would you give it?
I would give it a solid 8.
Okay.
What about you?
I gave it a 4.
Nice.
Just being honest.
I mean, I've never really been like a huge Beetlejuice fan in the first place, but
I wasn't like an obsessive fan. I'm not really an obsessive fan about any show, or movie, but like in that same regard. But I really loved the original a lot, and so I had high hopes for this, especially because I really feel like Tim Burton makes some really cool, magical work, and he just didn't deliver to my personal expectations this time. It just needed better editing, I think. Like, a part of the original movie is there was space for you to ask a lot of questions. And in this one, it felt like they tried to fill it with so much stuff so that you wouldn't have to ask this question or that question to try and understand it.
that was actually why I liked the second one better, because I didn't really like all the, like, I'm a person who, like, I need answers on shit. So that was one of the things that I liked about it.
I feel like they just could have answered it answered those questions that the moviegoers have quicker. Get to the point. So, for me, one of my interpretations on Beetlejuice, I know that he doesn't have a lot of purple in his look, but to me, his like under eye bags and Tim Burton's tendency to have characters who look like they have sunken in eyes and they're like hollowed faces, that like gives purple tones to me.
Yes.
And so when I think Beetlejuice, I think neon green yellow, like
Neon line, yeah.
Yeah, like acid spill sort of color, versus and neon yellow and like neon purple.
I agree. I feel like he's often associated with purples too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but I don't think he wears a lot of purple.
No.
I think it's interpreted. You know, I think a lot of people get purple energy from Beetlejuice.
So, if anything, what are you looking forward to this spooky season?
I'm doing some traveling.
Ooh, okay.
And I'm doing I'm doing 1 or 2 photo shoots. Doing the makeup for 1 or 2 photo shoots.
Ooh, exciting.
They're not spooky season related, but they happen to coincide around the timing. They're just not getting released till like later in the year. So, yeah. But yeah, so that's mostly what spooky season's looking like for me. It's not going to be particularly spooky this year. I don't have any grand costumes because I have a lot that I'm working on. Currently redoing our house. And so that takes up a lot of time and energy and effort, and I've put aside a lot of my personal projects and stuff like that to be able to work on that stuff, make headway.
I hear you.
Yeah.
What's been your favorite spooky season memory that you have?
Definitely doing haunted houses with my cousins growing up.
Oh.
We used to get together every single Halloween, not on Halloween, but in the leading up weeks, and we'd go to one of my aunt's houses. She had the biggest house of everybody in our family, and so we'd go over there and we would party and play games all weekend and do stuff we weren't supposed to be doing, and then we would go to a couple haunted houses, and it was a blast.
I love that.
So I love haunted houses. I'm not someone who gets super duper scared. I'm more likely to like entertain the entertainers, to be honest.
I love that.
I remember one year I went to a haunted house with a friend, and the entertainers, it was a indoor outdoor sort of pathway in a barn and stuff, multiple barns on a farm, and the actors obviously had walkie-talkies and could communicate to each other when like groups were coming through and stuff, and they enjoyed my interaction so much, we'll say, that they walkied to the people ahead of us to let them know that I was coming and that they should engage with me specifically.
I love that. That's so funny.
Yeah. I twerked on their saw.
That's hot.
They liked it. I forgot to ask, what are some of your favorite spooky season memories?
My favorite spooky season memories are all the times that me and my friends have gone to like pumpkin patches and haunted houses, all that stuff.
Fun stuff like that.
Yeah, I like doing that stuff. I wouldn't say I have like a specific one that stands out more than the rest, but I will say that I do enjoy going to the haunted houses with Allie because she is just really fun to be around during those things, because she gets really like... she's just really good at going first, let's just say that. Let's just say that.
Does she get more scared or less scared than you?
She anticipates it more than I do. I get scared. And that's my favorite thing. I allow myself to get scared. So like I'll let myself just sit there and just I like to get scared. Alright, I'm going to try to attempt to do my own version of the Beetlejuice lips. So I'm going to use the black eyeliner to outline my lips. I'm going to go in with the Vertigo shade from About Face, and then I'm going to do a purple over it. Instead of having the black like crackle, it's going to be purple. So let's try that.
What do you think?
I feel like up close it kind of works, but like far away, absolutely not.
You want to try it again?
Honestly, I could. No. That wasn't it either. Alright everybody, this is what we have for you guys so far. Devin is going to do their base off camera, and I'm going to get into the final look. And when we come back, we will have our full finished Beetlejuice inspired looks. Alright, and this is the completed look for both of us. What do you all think? For me, I went with a white base, and then I added some gray contouring with some like green pigments to enforce the contouring and make it like a blush. And then I used some really fun iridescent pigment in the eyes, around some purple here, and then for my lips you guys saw. And yeah, this is my interpretation of how I would do a Beetlejuice look.
So I did a little bit more of an editorial, like, but wearable sort of look. I did a cat eye that was lined out with a little bit of liner, focusing on some neon green shadows, just for continuity, basically. My goal was to try to get relatively close to matching the hair color that I have going on right now, which is a little bit of like a neon greeny color in it. And a little bit of purple to create depth, but without bringing it too far onto the face. And then I also did a black lip and a glittery purple on top of it. And I did a relatively light contour comparatively. I didn't do full drag.
Hell yeah! So this is our Beetlejuice looks. Please let me know what you all think in the comments below. And if you haven't already, please subscribe. I would love to have more subscribers and, you know, have my channel actually take off. But anyway, this is all that we have for you guys. Thank you all so much once again for watching, and we will see you next time. Bye!